So here are three prospects that I would avoid if I was an NBA GM. So let's get into this. Sharif Cooper out of Auburn. He's a 6'1" point guard. He's 180 pounds. In Kevin O'Connor's mock, he's going 23rd to the Rockets. I've seen him on people's big boards in the top 10. I've seen him in the 20s somewhere, but I would not take him at all if I was the Knicks or any team there in the 20s. I mean, he's 6'1". He looks shorter than he is. I mean, if you're six, if you and he can't really shoot that well. I'll get into that in a second. But some of his strengths are he's a great passer. He's a great driver. He averaged 8 assists this season in Auburn. He averaged 20 and 8. But his shooting is pretty bad, pretty bad. He shot 39% from the field, under 23% from three, 42.7 efficient field goal. That is not good. If to put this in perspective, the NBA average for efficient field goal is 51%, and he took about 5 threes a game and shot under 23%. So I don't see him becoming that great of a shooter in the league. I mean, he couldn't work on it. We've seen people work on it, but I mean, if you're a short guard and you can't shoot that well, I mean, why am I even drafting you? He's going to be playing in China in a few years or the G League. I see a lot of comparisons to with Sharif to Trae Young, and I think that's outlandish because Trae Young, he led the nation in scoring and assists. He was probably a little taller than Cooper. I mean, he was probably 6'1", 6'2", and he did shoot 36% from three, and he took a lot of deep threes to to make the defense honest, and he was an aggressive player. Cooper shot 14 worse percent than Trae Young, and Trae Young is just better at everything than Cooper. I mean, they both have special passing ability, but if I had to make an NBA comparison with Sharif Cooper, I'd have to say it would be Alfred Payne, the elf on the shelf. The great Clyde Frazier once said, Alfred Payne came into the league as a dubious shooter, and he still is a dubious shooter. So and Alfred Payne's taller than Cooper too, also. So I just don't believe in Cooper becoming a great NBA point guard. And maybe he could be a backup. I don't think he's gonna be an all-star or anything until he gets a jump shot, and I don't see him just drastically becoming a great NBA shooter. His form's a little whack. It's a little slow. So I would completely avoid Sharif Cooper if I was an NBA team. Next person is Jalen Johnson out of Duke. He's a 6'9" forward. He's 220. I mean, he's mocked, I believe, 25th. And Kevin O'Connor's in this random CBS mock. I was looking at some mocks. 13th. I remember this guy was supposed to be a top 10 pick coming into the year. He only played 11 games at Duke this season. But, I mean, he just quit on the team. He didn't have a good season. He was only averaging 11 points. It says he shot 44% from three, which just sounds amazing. But when you look at it, actually, he only took 18 attempts. And, I mean, this guy's really athletic. He's a pretty good finisher, as you saw. He could do a variety of finishes, putback dunks, and lays with both hands. But I don't really know what his offensive game is like, besides just being able to screen and roll. I mean, he shot 63% from the line. That is not good. He's okay at taking people off the dribble. I mean, this guy, if he really goes 13th to Indiana or he's in the 20s, I really wouldn't take him. I mean, he has character concerns. I mean, he played at like 3 different high schools. I mean, he quit on Duke after 11 games. If he goes to the Kings or like Minnesota, I mean, I think his career is over. As funny as that sounds, I don't think he needs a coach to get in his ear and get him to work harder because I don't think his work ethic is that good. He's got a great body and a lot of talent, but I don't really know what his offensive game is being able to, besides screen and roll. He's only 6'9". He's got to work on his ball handling. His 3-point shooting looks nice, but I mean, he only took 18 of them, and that's the college three. I don't know how many threes he's going to be hitting in the NBA level, so I would avoid him. I really don't think he's not built different, definitely. I don't think he's going to be that great of a pro. He might bounce around. He's one of those high school recruits that are probably going to fizzle out because they don't put in the work at the NBA level. So we'll have to wait and see. But if I had to make a comparison, then I would say it'd be this guy right here. And you know what this is? This is Farooq Aminu, a 6'8" forward. Doesn't have much of a playmaking game. He can hit some open threes, and he's 6'8". He's got a similar body to Jalen Johnson. So I would just say, I mean, Jalen Johnson becomes Alfred Aminu. I think It's not a bad thing, but I mean, pretty underwhelming for a former top 10 high school recruit and a guy who played a blue blood program. So just he'll have to go to the right team, and we'll have to see what happens with him. But I would just completely avoid this guy, taking him in the 20s if I was an NBA GM. And the final guy and the number one prospect I would avoid is Scotty Barnes. I know a lot of people do like Scotty Barnes. He is a good basketball player, but I just don't think he should be a top five pick. Everything points towards Orlando taking him fifth. That's pretty hilarious because they're going to see another Florida State guy who doesn't really have much of an offensive game, and he's a great defender, just like Jonathan Isaac was. But has Orlando really gone better since drafting Jonathan Isaac? No, not really. So Scotty Barnes is 6'9", he's 227, he averaged 10, 4, and 4 at Florida State. I mean, he played a lot of point forward. I do like his passing ability, and he has a great size to be a versatile defender. He did shoot 27% from 3, 50 from the field. I mean, I don't like that. I mean, he kind of needs the ball to be good. I mean, you can't. I mean, chances are in the NBA, unless you let him dribble around a lot, he's going to be pretty much useless because his form's so slow. He can't play off the ball. If you have Scotty Barnes sit in the corner, I mean, that's not really going to help your basketball team at all. But I just don't think he should be a top five pick because you don't draft, at least to me, I would never draft someone in the top five that doesn't have a scoring ability at least. I mean, scoring is one of the most important things. I mean, Orlando this year, they were 29th in offensive rating, 17th in pace. They need guys that can get the basketball into the basket, and Scotty Barnes isn't really that great at that. Their whole team is centered around guys that can defend, but can they really make a play off the dribble and create some offense? Maybe Scotty Barnes can do that if he develops a jumper, but I just don't see him ever becoming that great of a scorer and shooter, which doesn't warrant a top five pick. And the top, like other guys in the top five, like Jalen Green, and Cade Cunningham, they could create their own shot and shoot a lot of threes very well, very efficiently. So I don't think it doesn't make sense to me that Scotty Barnes would go ahead of Kuminga. I like Kuminga more. His offensive game is more polished. He has a better looking jump shot, even though he shot poor from three in the G League Ignite team this year. I would never. Orlando's just gonna screw it up again. They're gonna draft Scotty Barnes. He's gonna average like 8, 4, and 4 for his career, and he's gonna be a bust. I mean, just like Jonathan Isaac. I mean, he's a great defender. And Isaac had a better offensive game coming into the NBA than Scotty Barnes did. So it doesn't make any sense what Orlando's trying to do. Orlando, they should draft Kuminga or someone else, maybe James Bouknight. They need a guy who can score the basketball. They already have enough a lot of tall defenders, and if I had to compare Scotty Barnes to someone, it's someone already on the roster, and that's Michael Carter-Williams, a 6'8" point guard. Can't really shoot, never developed anything, although he had a great rookie year. He won Rookie of the Year. I don't think Scotty Barnes is really going to become that much better than Michael Carter-Williams. Maybe he's more athletic, certainly, so he'll be a better defender. He has a high basketball IQ. Maybe Scotty Barnes' ceiling could be like, I don't know, 14, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. I mean, that's good, but it's not worth the top 5 picks. So with the draft capital you're spending on Scotty Barnes, I'm going to be expecting more from him and other players in the top 5. So that's why I would completely avoid him. I don't even know if I would take him like 10th, honestly. I really do not think he's that great of a player. NBA teams, I mean, they are probably smarter than me, so I could be completely wrong, and he's already been working on his jump shot. But I just do not see Scotty Barnes being a franchise changer, and that's who I want to draft in the top 5. So there's no way in hell I would ever draft Scotty Barnes in the top 5.